While everyone's focused on the latest AI or robotics innovation, in today's video, we're going to dissect a market that you may have not known is absolutely massive, and it is the beans market. So, the beans market is expected to reach $46 billion by 2035. And in today's video, we're going to dissect a Shopify store that is absolutely crushing this market. So, this business, they sell beans. It's called Rancho Gordo, and they do about $37 million per year. So that's a lot of money for selling beans. Now, they have a really cool story. They have a really cool layout. So we're going to dissect the entire Shopify store, their marketing strategy, and the overall business so that you can get inspired to start your own store. And we're going to dissect a lot of different things here. So let's just get right into it. Now, as you see here, they have a very beautifully branded website, but it is quite simple. They sell these gift boxes of beans, specifically heirloom beans. That's one thing I want to mention is they're actually huge in the heirloom bean business. And if we take a look at their bestseller, this is their bestseller right here, the Midnight Black Bean. And it's kind of an interesting bean. I mean, it's just a bean. But if you're a bean enthusiast, then this is the site for you, right? Because they are growing all kinds of beans. And what I do want to highlight right away is the simplicity of the marketing. This is something that's super interesting to me. Typography, how much of a difference it can truly make in a Shopify store. This theme is not fancy in any way. This is probably one of the simplest themes that you can have when you have a business of this level. But really, to me, what makes it stand out and ties it all together is the typography and congruent branding. So something as simple as having really congruent colors and a really congruent and unique font can really make your store stand out. So, that's what they do. It's super cool. They got some cooking suggestions, cooking instructions, and, some New York Times quotes. So I actually like this right here, this section, adding a quote from a New York Times article or some sort of authority figure. I think that's pretty brilliant. Their site is not getting a crazy amount of traffic, at least estimated traffic. It's about 128,000 monthly visitors, and mostly from the US. So almost all of the traffic actually comes from the US, but they do get traffic from all over the world. Now, the reason that this intrigued me is, first and foremost, it's a bean store. I've never seen a bean Shopify store. And second of all, because they have a very grassroots approach. So this highlights how just simply having a great product and a unique product can build your business over time. So they started 21 years ago, or actually 21 plus years ago. And over time, right, they've built relationships with different restaurants, with different chefs all over the world, and built this massive business, right? Now, they're not getting a ton of engagement, so it's not, their social media presence that's grown them to this level. And that's not to knock on them, right? But it's just true. As you see, they do have, this is the founder, I believe. So I believe this is, his name is Steve Sando, founder and CEO. So yeah, he mentioned how he basically learned about these beans. He became obsessed, and then he started to grow his own beans. But then he realized that in order to scale the business, he was going to need to rely on other farmers to grow these beans. So he has really good relationships with farms in Mexico in order to grow a lot of these beans, which is super cool. And as you see, here's him, roasting some of those beans back in the day. And one of the reasons I wanted to share this as well is because some of you may be thinking, well, how could I start something like this? I mean, it may be more difficult than you think, right? You got to find a supplier of whatever it is that you're selling. But the thing is, there are a lot of farms out there that are producing a variety of products that you consume or use every day that don't have marketing or don't have a direct-to-consumer arm. So you can partner with them and set it up for them, right? That's an amazing idea. Or even some of you out there may have family farms where, you just produce all this product, all these goods, but you haven't really thought about selling them because you're distracted by the latest drop shipping products out there, which I'm not knocking those products, but if you get a little bit creative, you can build stores around even the simplest of things, which is really cool to me. Now, this brand does use OmniSend for their email marketing, and I want to highlight that because for a business like this, right, they're not running any meta ads. They literally have no meta ads. They have a YouTube channel where they're posting videos not very consistently. They have a Pinterest where they're not really driving a lot of monthly viewers. So how are they marketing, right? And it's, as I mentioned, through this slow grassroots approach of just dominating the people that are very passionate about beans, which is going to be people who, of course, cook a lot, restaurants, things of that nature. And over time, right, you're going to build this customer base. And one of the best things that you can do with that customer base is continuously engage them through email marketing. And I found this stat in one of the OmniSend marketing reports that I wanted to share with you. And by the way, OmniSend is what we use for all of our clients, for all of our brands. And when I invest in businesses too, or when people join our accelerator, Shopilab, I always recommend them to use OmniSend as well. So big believer in OmniSend. Shout out to those guys. You can use the link in the description and use our discount in order to get a special deal. But this is a really interesting stat, which is that automated emails drove 37% of sales from just 2% of email volume, while SMS and push campaigns saw similar trends. SMS is great, but this is a pretty crazy stat, right? So that means almost 98% of email volume was campaigns most likely, but 37% of the overall sales came from automated emails, which means emails that you literally set up once and don't touch ever again. So I wanted to mention this because a lot of you guys out there, right, you're growing fast with Meta ads, TikTok ads, Google ads, but you're not taking care of the back end of your business at all, even though it can literally drive so much meaningful traffic, so much meaningful revenue for your business, which is where your profit can often come from, right? But one thing that I found interesting as well with them is that they don't have any sort of subscription option. It kind of makes sense, right? Because it's beans. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people would subscribe to beans, but I actually think it would be a good idea, especially for their most passionate followers. I think they would be pretty excited to consistently get their beans. Let me look at their shipping policy. I want to see 2 to 7 day delivery. Okay, that's pretty good. And I do also, oh yeah, this is what I was going to mention. I almost forgot. What I love about brands like this, right? And this is something that you can take away too, is they have a very easy way to engage their customer and build a community, right? So it's not just about selling beans. It is, of course, they sell beans, but it's also about providing value to customers, right? By giving them recipes. They're constantly dropping recipes and cookbooks and things of that nature to show people how they can use these beans and make really delicious meals. As you see, they're literally dropping a new article every single day, a new recipe every single day without fail. Okay, maybe not every single day, but pretty much every single day. Actually, every weekday, Steve is launching a new recipe, which is super cool. And, they got a really nice Shopify blog here where they're mentioning the products on the sidebar that they mention in the recipe. And it's a very simple recipe too. It's actually not really that crazy. So we asked the team at Minnow to share a favorite salad recipe. So I don't know what Minnow is. Minnow World. Oh, so this is another Shopify store. These guys sell sardines. Okay. I don't want to get too much into this one. We'll have to save this one for a different time. But I just love these Shopify stores that are selling these very basic things in huge markets, right? Like we just don't think of these markets as being so big. It's like rice, right? Like I'm pretty sure the rice market is absolutely massive. Yeah, it's like $300 billion. Everybody's worried about AI and trying to make the next AI thing, but who's trying to make the next rice thing, right? Who's trying to innovate the rice game? That's an interesting question to ask. At least that's what I'm thinking about. But yeah, this is super cool. I just wanted to highlight this for you. There's not that much more to say about the brand because they keep things extremely simple. They have, other products in their store. They have a phone number that you can get assistance with. Very nice. But ultimately, I just thought it was such a unique brand and they're doing such big volume that I figured, let's talk about this one, right? Let's look at some of the tools that they use like OmniSend. Let's look at some of the product pages that they have and how simple they are, and ultimately just how much content they're providing for their customers and community. It's super cool. I love to see it. And I wanted to show you the analytics behind the keyword beans because it's actually huge. And I also think there's a lot of really interesting things that we can learn from this, because interestingly enough, lentils, chickpeas, these seem to be the most popular beans amongst the bean game, right? The bean game is dominated by lentils and chickpeas based on some of this data. But also we can see what people are curious about different bean types. 110,000 people a month are looking up different bean types. So they should totally have more blogs around that. I don't know if they do. They might. They should totally have a lot of content around some of these keywords, like all the different bean types that they sell. But very cool, super cool brand. I just thought it was very simply done, but very well done. And they have this grassroots approach of just, of course, I'm sure they work with a ton of restaurants. I'm sure they have a huge email list of, famous chefs and things of that nature. And not always famous chefs too, probably just normal chefs as well, or people that cook as a hobby. But I thought it was such a cool brand. So there it is. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.